Thank you for joining us and welcome. My name's Tim Teddy. I'm the Planning and Development Director for the city. We've got an interesting program for you tonight. We'd like to start with a few words from the Chairman of the Comprehensive Plan Task Force, Ms. Shelley Simon.
I just wanted to take a minute to recognize the people, the volunteers of Columbia who've been working on this. The Comprehensive Plan Task Force members and the Planning and Zoning Commission members, would you either wave or stand, please? These are people who have put many, many hours in addition to our staff and our consultants from the University of Missouri, whom you'll hear later on. One of the things I wanted to do very briefly was to put this in context. So if you think about making decision-making in Columbia, right now I would say we might characterize that as not very predictable. And so one of the goals of putting together a comprehensive plan is to increase the predictability of decision-making when it comes to planning and land use in Columbia. And if we think of how we tied it back, if you think back about 5 or 6 years to the visioning effort, where we started taking a, say, 25,000-foot look at the vision for where Columbia could be, and now we're saying, how can we put some of that into action when it comes to land use and growth and planning? So we're maybe at 10,000 feet here. We're trying to get to a policy level. And then when we come down to planning and zoning, we've got regulations. And so each of these, as we look to our work, we look to the little bit higher perspective for our direction. So I just want you to keep that in mind. That's where we are. We're starting to work on that 10,000-foot policy level. Thanks.
We're calling this part of the comprehensive plan, Who Are We? What that means is we're kind of taking account of what exists today in Columbia, what our community, Columbia as a community, and what Columbia as a place is all about today. So that's why you're here. We're not here yet to discuss what's right or wrong about Columbia, how it should plan, the goals we want to have for 20 years from now, et cetera. We'll get to that. But how do you build a plan, something as complex as a comprehensive plan that really deals with just about everything or seemingly everything? Well, first of all, we got to know what we have before we can change it. So that's why we're going to present to you tonight a lot of information about what already exists in the city. And you got to organize all of this information. So you're going to see us organizing this plan into 7 themes. And Columbia Imagine has chosen these 7 theme areas. And tonight you're going to hear from the speakers shown on the slide. So we're going to give you some variety, some commissioners and task force members, and some professional staff. And this is the art of the summary. What they have been laboring to do is take enormous amounts of data about our city and condense it down to 5-minute talks. We've been calling them the elevator speeches. So that's what you're going to hear this evening. But not only that, we're going to ask you to contribute something to the discussion. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Larry Dickerson from University Extension, and he's going to be our Master of Ceremonies tonight. So hope you enjoy the meeting, and thank you again for coming. We know your time is valuable, and we don't take it for granted.
Well, thank you everyone for coming, and just a little brief on the process tonight. We're going to do these 7 speeches consecutively, one after another, and we won't take questions or breaks. But then what will happen is after the 7 speeches, we're going to have 7 breakout sessions, one for each of the theme areas that you can go to. And at those breakout sessions will be copies of the PowerPoint. There's an extended version of existing conditions in each of the theme areas that you can look at, and members of the task force and the different theme area committees will be there to talk with you and take your comments and record those. So we're going to start with the speeches, and this is, I guess, the attempt quickly to give you, as L. Witt, one of our task force members, said, a story of the way things are in Columbia as the task force has looked at them and the staff and others. And then we hope that you will say, well, maybe it's that way and maybe it's not. I have a different perspective. And we have some question sheets that you can answer. I'll talk at the end. There's going to be a variety of ways that you can participate not only tonight but in the future.